When flood strikes, it is a tragic story of the destruction, suffering, and death that stalks in its wake. For man is powerless to combat the force of nature's fury, to stem the devastating tide of disaster. He can only stand aside and watch helplessly as the floodwaters sweep on and on in their ruthless race to the sea.
The water is rising.
The city is underwater.
The trains are stalled.
We must have boats. We need food.
Rush doctors.
We need more nurses.
Rush medicine.
We need serum.
We need blankets.
The power lines are out.
We're completely cut off.
We must have help. Now!
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And even as these calls flash over the wires, Red Cross observers are surveying the entire flooded area to organize and direct rescue and relief. And from one stricken community after another come the reports of disaster, of destruction, of tragedy, of wild nature on a rampage, of helpless animals left behind as man flees for his life, deserting even his best friend. Boats are bought, borrowed, then hastily built for the task of rescue, of saving human lives. And as the floodwaters soar to new record heights, the call is for boats, more boats. Meanwhile, rivercraft of the government have been placed at the disposal of the Red Cross, convoying fleets of Coast Guard boats into the danger zone on their mission of mercy. In every stricken community, the work of rescue goes speedily on, saving life in this race against time and rising waters, with men and women literally picked from the roofs of their homes. Those in the autumn of life recognize and fear this terror, while new lives go peacefully on as the work of rescue continues. Not until every victim of the flood has been found and saved is the work of actual rescue completed. Then, through miles of city streets, deep with the yellow waters of the flood, boat after boat speeds to safety with its cargo of human life, men, women, and children saved from the icy waters. One after another, the survivors are helped into waiting trucks for their journey to the Red Cross refugee camps. The aged safe at last, the ailing rescued too. From other points along the flood front, a steady stream of buses working with the Red Cross in the fight against nature brings hundreds of pitiful refugees to this safe haven. One after another, the homeless arrive safe at last, grateful for their deliverance from the clutches of the rising waters that have driven them from their homes, perhaps taken loved ones from them too, while from still other points, freight cars bring more sad survivors to safety. From north, south, east, and west, from city, villages, and farms comes an endless procession of those who fled before the resistless advance of the raging flood, thankful to be alive and under the protection of the Red Cross. Despite their sorrow, youth strives to be brave, but their elders are resigned to fate. To build morale, to banish misery, to minimize suffering, food is served to all victims of the flood. For one great fundamental rule of the Red Cross is that none shall go hungry. And along the entire flood front, the greatest mother has come to the rescue, has halted the panic of despair with food, shelter, warm bedding, and clothing, blotting out the terrible memory of raging waters. In the wake of the flood is the threat of epidemic, and this challenge is promptly met. For what good has been accomplished if life is saved from one menace only to perish by another? In field hospitals, valiant workers of the Red Cross guard the health of helpless thousands, and a call for serum brings the precious fluid from the skies. The Coast Guard is on the job, wasting not a moment, picking up the life-saving medicine and rushing it to field hospitals. For if disease, the grim companion of flood, is to be thwarted, speed is vital. twin threats of privation and disease have been met and conquered, now begins the task of cleaning up, of removing all traces of disaster, of restoring cities, towns, and countryside to an accustomed mode of life. On every hand is mute evidence of the waters which have reluctantly returned to their usual channels, surrendering streets and homes to citizens once again, the last of the debris removed. Undaunted, men and women go about starting life anew in the wake of disaster, salvaging such of their belongings as they can, making their homes habitable once more. Through countless thousands of typical American homes, the mud-laden waters have surged, rising to the upper stories and even over the rooftops. Now it is necessary to erase all reminders of that nightmare flood. But fortunate indeed are those whose houses still stand, for there are others whose homes have been swept from their foundations, carried like play toys of the raging torrent, while others are completely wrecked and thousands must be rebuilt. To all in need, the Red Cross extends a helping hand, seeking out those who face the world with the loss of their possessions, giving them the necessary assistance for the task of beginning a new life. A temporary Red Cross depot, a steady stream of grateful survivors obtaining new stores of supplies. To some, food for a hungry family is paramount. To others, a pail and broom come first. But to all, the same generous spirit of helpfulness is manifest. In cities and towns, needs differ widely from those in the rural districts where the waters have destroyed hay and grain and where farmers would face the loss of their livestock but for feed supplied by the American Red Cross. Meanwhile, the Red Cross work of rebuilding shattered homes goes steadily on as relief workers survey the extent of the damage, ready to repair the havoc wrought by the flood. On every hand, in city, village, and country, a new note of hope and courage is felt as this army of peace swings into action to the tempo of carpenters at work, to the click of jack and winch, to the tune of the busy hammer. For the order of the day is rebuild, and from the Red Cross Flood Relief Fund come the dollars which not only repair homes, but replace ruined household goods, purchase new tools for the laborer, new livestock for the farmer, give to every victim of the disaster a new hope in life. No task is too large, none too small, and Red Cross relief workers discover many minor tragedies. And though the need of the day may be perhaps only new clothes for children who must go to school, a sympathetic understanding greets all who ask for aid. The Red Cross seeks only to help those who genuinely require assistance in order to resume a normal way of living. To local shops and merchants they go, purchasing the necessities of a decent life. For instance, clothes for the children who must go to school, those children who because of their age will remember this great disaster less than their parents. Thanks to the Red Cross, they are getting those necessities that will help them return to their proper places in the life of the community. There is real satisfaction in the thought that the Red Cross, our greatest mother, is always on hand to come to the aid of those in distress. With youth, our hope of tomorrow, looking forward with renewed hope, confidently marching on to a new life under the protection of the Angel of Mercy.